Hello! Today we're covering the most missed California permit test questions for 2026. Stay sharp and let's go step by step. When may you drive in a bike lane in California? Only within 200 feet of a turn to enter or exit a driveway or intersection. Bike lanes are restricted for safety. Let's continue. What does a flashing yellow light mean in California? Slow down and proceed with caution. Always be ready to stop if needed. Next question. What is the basic speed law in California? Never drive faster than is safe for current conditions regardless of the posted limit. Safety comes first at all times. Let's move on. What is the speed limit in a school zone in California when children are present? 25 miles per hour. Always watch carefully for children. Next point. What is the speed limit in a blind intersection with no posted signs in California? 15 miles per hour. Visibility is limited, so slow down. Continuing. What is a blind intersection in California? An intersection where you cannot see 100 feet in either direction within the last 100 feet before crossing. Be extra cautious at these intersections. Next question. What is the speed limit in an alley in California? 15 miles per hour. Alleys often have pedestrians. Let's continue. What is the speed limit within 100 feet of a railroad crossing where you cannot see 400 feet in each direction? 15 miles per hour. Limited visibility requires reduced speed. Next point. When must headlights be used in California? From 30 minutes after sunset to 30 minutes before sunrise and whenever visibility is under 1,000 feet. Visibility rules are strictly enforced. Let's move on. What does a yellow traffic signal mean in California? The light is about to turn red. Prepare to stop if safe to do so. Do not speed up to beat the light. Continuing. When can you pass on the right in California? When the vehicle ahead is turning left and there is a paved lane to the right. Only pass when it is safe and legal. Next question. What does a solid white line between lanes mean? Stay in your lane and do not cross the line. Lane discipline is important. Let's continue. What must you do when you see a pedestrian with a white cane or guide dog at an intersection? Stop and yield the right-of-way regardless of traffic signals. Always prioritize pedestrian safety. Next point. What is the 3-second rule in California? Maintain at least 3 seconds of following distance behind the vehicle ahead. This helps prevent collisions. Let's move on. How far before a turn must you signal in California? At least 100 feet before the turn. Signal early to alert other drivers. Continuing. What does it mean when a school bus ahead has its red lights flashing and stop arm extended? Stop in both directions on an undivided road and wait until the arm retracts. Children may be crossing. Next question. On a divided highway, must you stop for a school bus with flashing red lights in the opposite direction? No, only vehicles on the same side must stop. Dividers separate traffic flow. Let's continue. What is the right-of-way rule at an uncontrolled intersection? Yield to any vehicle that arrived first and to the vehicle on your right if arriving simultaneously. Always yield properly. Next point. When merging onto a freeway, what is the correct action? Accelerate in the on-ramp to match freeway traffic speed and merge smoothly. Merging safely is essential. Let's move on. What is the correct action when an emergency vehicle with lights and sirens approaches? Pull to the right edge of the road and stop until it passes. Give emergency vehicles space. Continuing. What does a red curb mean in California? No stopping, standing, or parking at any time. Strictly enforced zones. Next question. What does a yellow curb mean in California? Stopping only to load or unload passengers, or freight time limits may apply. Check posted signs. Let's continue. What does a white curb mean in California? Stopping only to pick up or drop off passengers or mail. Short stops only. Next point. What does a green curb mean in California? Parking for a limited time is posted. Follow time limits. Let's move on. What does a blue curb mean in California? Parking for disabled persons with a placard or special plate only. Unauthorized parking is penalized. Continuing. When is it legal to make a U-turn in California at a traffic signal? Only when a sign permits it and there is no oncoming traffic. Always check for signs. Next question. When is a U-turn never permitted in California? Where a no U-turn sign is posted near railroad tracks in business districts with oncoming traffic within 200 feet and on divided highways where an opening is not provided. No restricted areas. Let's continue. What must a driver do before backing up? Check behind the vehicle and ensure the path is clear before moving. Always look carefully. Next point. What is the correct action at a yield sign? Slow down and give the right-of-way to cross traffic, merging if safe. Be prepared to stop. Let's move on. What is the California law on using a cell phone while driving? A handheld phone is prohibited. All drivers must use hands-free only. Stay focused on driving. Continuing. What additional phone restriction applies to drivers under 18 in California? Drivers under the 18th of May not use any wireless device including hands-free while driving. Zero tolerance for young drivers. Next question. At what BAC is a driver considered legally impaired in California for drivers over 21? 0.08%. Driving under the influence is dangerous and illegal. Let's continue. What is the BAC limit for drivers under 21 in California? 0.01%. Very strict limit for minors. Next point. What is the BAC limit for drivers on DUI probation in California? 0.01%. Zero tolerance applies. Let's move on. What is the BAC limit for commercial drivers in California? 0.04%. Lower limit due to higher responsibility. Continuing. How far from a fire hydrant must you park in California? 15 feet. Keep access clear for emergencies. Next question. How far from a crosswalk must you park in California? 20 feet. Ensure pedestrian visibility. Let's continue. How far from a stop sign must you park in California? 30 feet. Do not block visibility. Next point. What is the law on parking on a hill facing uphill with a curb? Turn wheels away from the curb and let the car roll into the curb if brakes fail. This prevents rolling. Let's move on. What is the law on parking on a hill facing downhill with a curb? Turn wheels toward the curb. Secure your vehicle. Continuing. What should you do if your accelerator sticks while driving? Shift to neutral, apply brakes, steer to safety, and shut off engine when stopped. Stay calm and act quickly. Next question. What should a driver do if the brakes fail? Pump the brakes, shift to a lower gear, and use the emergency brake gradually. Do not panic. Let's continue. What is the lookout distance required before changing lanes on a California freeway? Check mirrors and blind spots and ensure at least a 4-second gap ahead. Always check surroundings. Next point. When must you use your headlights while using windshield wipers in California? Whenever weather requires the use of windshield wipers, headlights must be on. Improve visibility in bad weather. Let's move on. What does a flashing red light mean at an intersection? Stop completely, treat it as a stop sign, and proceed when safe. Always come to a full stop. Continuing. What is tailgating and why is it dangerous in California? Following too closely, reducing time to react to sudden stops and increasing rear-end collision risk. Maintain safe distance. Next question. What is the correct action when a tire blows out at highway speed? Grip the wheel firmly, ease off the accelerator, steer straight, and let the vehicle slow naturally. Stay in control. Let's continue. What is the correct way to enter a freeway using an acceleration lane? Use the lane to build speed matching freeway traffic, then merge smoothly into a safe gap. Merging properly prevents accidents. Next point. What does a pennant-shaped yellow sign mean? No passing zone. Do not attempt to pass. Let's move on. What is the move over law in California? Move over one lane or slow significantly when passing stopped emergency maintenance or tow vehicles with lights activated. Protect roadside workers. That's all for today. Review these carefully. These are the questions people